You are very welcome to the teaching for the parish evangelization cells. The theme is secret prayer. Jesus, in the Sermon on the Mount, in Matthew's Gospel, chapters 5 to 7, classifies almsgiving, prayer, and fasting as acts of righteousness. That is to say, as behavioral patterns, activities, which God requires, demands of His people. They were therefore important practical features, characteristics of Jewish religious life in Jesus' time. Devout Jews prayed 3 times a day. However, the 9th hour, that is to say, the 3 o'clock prayer in the afternoon, according to the Acts of the Apostles, seems to have been the normal time for prayer. Standing was the normal Jewish posture, though sometimes people knelt or even prostrated themselves, fell on their faces. When you pray, go into your room and shut the door and pray to your Father who is in secret. This citation this quote is taken from Matthew chapter 6 verse 6. Let us explain it and unpack it. One must emphasize from the beginning that Jesus is neither disparaging, underestimating, nor condemning audible prayer in public, or liturgical prayer, public worship, corporate or communal prayer. While Jesus is often portrayed in the Gospels as praying in secret, He also occasionally, at times, prayed audibly where others could hear. As a matter of fact, the Lord's Prayer, or better known as the Disciples' Prayer, as it uniquely binds us as Christ's disciples together in a community of worship and intercession, is taught by Jesus as a corporate rather than a private prayer, after He had been heard praying by His disciples. Lord, teach us how to pray. That was the request done by His disciples. Now, go into your room. Go actually into your secret, innermost or hidden room. The Greek word tameion refers to a storeroom. So go into your storeroom or larder, a room where the steward kept his stores, which is likely to have been without windows and the only lockable room in the house. In such a secret room, we personally encounter God, who is in secret. The focus is, of course, on the intimacy of communion with God in our heart, which is at the center of all prayer, rather than the specific location. Moreover, Jesus' call to secret prayer does not inevitably mean silent prayer. The point of going into a secret room is so that no one else will be in a position to hear. Namely, God alone will be your audience, my audience. My dear friends, secret prayer complements, supplements, augments liturgical prayer. What do we mean by liturgical prayer or sacred liturgy? It is basically the worship given to God the Father by the whole body of Christ in its head and members. The liturgy is the public worship that our Redeemer, as head of the Church, renders to the Father, as well as the worship that the community of faithful gives to its founder, and through him to the Father. The Catechism of the Catholic Church highlights the inseparable link between liturgical prayer and secret prayer. And I paraphrase this from the Catechism. Prayer, secret prayer, internalizes and assimilates the liturgy during and after its celebration. Even when it is lived out in secret, prayer is always prayer of the Church. It is a communion with the Holy Trinity. Saint Benedict reminds us that secret prayer should accompany all endeavors. And this advice also applies to us, to you, as members of the parish evangelization cell system. I quote Benedict: "Make prayer the first step in anything worthwhile that you attempt. Persevere and do not weaken in that prayer. The words and works of Jesus are visible manifestation of his prayer in secret." Now you may ask, why have I focused on secret prayer? As you probably know, I have recently visited a spirit-filled parish in Palermo, in Sicily, where the parish evangelization cells have burgeoned. The parish priest, Father Salvatore Orofino, has made the quotation of Matthew chapter 6 verse 6 as the linchpin or the core, the kernel of the parish evangelization cell system, by urging all cell members to pray every morning for approximately 20 minutes before getting to work. And needless to say, the fruit of their prayer is evidently seen. Now, my dear friends, as we have started this journey of Lent, I earnestly ask you to start in this first week of Lent by prayerfully reading every morning the daily Gospel of the Mass. Your secret prayer, that is to say, this time of intimate communion with God, will certainly be a good Lenten penance, but I can assure you, a fruitful and enduring one. God bless.